In this video, I'm going to share with you a group call with a few of my students, and we're discussing on how we build out routines to develop our hitting abilities. If this video interests you and you want to develop your player into a college prospect, develop his skills, and get him noticed, down below in the description, book a call with me. On the call, we'll discuss where your son's currently at, where he's trying to go, and if I can help him get there. And you're going to want to stick into the end because I share some valuable insights that I learned throughout my professional career.
How do you figure out sometimes what to work on in a cage or what steps to take after just I don't know, feeling like you have your swing down or whatever? Do you just do the same certain drills and just keep whatever or
Yeah, and I guess in more, I guess what is the question exactly? Like how to assess where you're going wrong?
yeah, or just what to do next?
I gotcha. And that's where building out a routine, if you do the same routine day after day for 3 years and you're progressing down where you're not seeing any results, there's probably in those 3 years a point in time where probably should have tried something else, right? But when it comes to just talking swings, that's where you have to have a toolbox and really understand the drills that are available to you. Basically, what drills do I need in this given moment, right? And we were having that conversation about feel, right? Just having that feel, not necessarily going 110%, because when we go 110%, all our processing power in our brain is hit it hard, tense up, and that's what our body's naturally going to do when we have those thoughts. But when we have a little bit more of a relaxed feel into every rep, we can kind of start to feel out where our body's at in space. So think if you're just missing balls a little bit on underneath the ball. For an easy example, maybe the next day or the next week or so, we just have a little bit more emphasis on hitting a little bit more high tee as a drill in our back pocket to be able to use, right? There's obviously many different drills, and there's a crossover drill where that could help you not necessarily lunging forward towards the pitcher. There's just wide stance as an overall just starting point in cage work, just to really eliminate the lower half, really just focusing on your arms and upper half. All these things are kind of built out in your routine, but I can send you over some more additional trainings on drills. I guess what are the biggest things that you're looking for right now, Dane, as far as your swing goes?
I don't know. I feel like I have it down decently. I just know sometimes in the cage, I feel like my swing looks long and drawn out. I want it to be like a switch and then just fire through, get my hands through quick and stuff. And I don't know if it's a problem, but I feel I don't know, just separation maybe.
I gotcha. So let's walk through it. Is that cool with you? All right.
Yeah.
Can you see your video?
Yep.
All right. So when you say that you're going long through, in what areas do you feel like that is? Is it more on the load of your hands kind of being farther, back, or is it on rotation you feel like you're going around the ball?
I feel like it's on rotation and a lot of my I think the second hit I do what I want to do pretty well, but a lot of the other ones I feel like I kind of start just early and then just push my hands towards the ball to stay in instead of just starting right on time and then whipping through the zone.
The looks of it, as far as your hands go, they're not in a crazy far place outside of your back hip, right? If you're in a stance where your hands are really, really far behind, that's where you're kind of putting yourself in a position to easily armbar around the swing. So that's not really what I'm seeing out of you right here. As far as on rotation, I'm looking at kind of the V almost right here of your elbow, your front elbow, to see basically how far out that V turns into. And from the first couple of swings, it looks like you have that space. I'm gonna erase that. It looks like you have that space right here, right? And that's the space that we want in our swing. But right there is that what you're talking about? Kind of just having a little bit too far outwards with your hands?
Yeah, I don't know. And then I guess. And then just I feel like just throwing my hands at the ball just from maybe some misreads or whatever. But I feel like when I get caught on an inside pitch, that's when I'm really forced to like bring my hands through quick and stuff.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So let me know if this makes sense. So, all right. So if you have like the plate right here,
Yeah.
and you're a righty over here, if we're thinking about our hands, in particular, like obviously we start maybe like right here. We start our rotation. Do you feel like your hands are in the direction of? I'll do a different color. Do you feel like your hands are in a direction of like going to right center?
Not necessarily. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I feel like they just go a little too far forward before like twisting with the rest of my body, trying to get
Okay.
that barrel
So
out front, catching a lot of them more towards the hands and popping them up.
I gotcha. So is it more like your hands are firing too quickly where your body is like back here?
Yeah, I feel like that could be like my hands like go too fast first, and then I lose accuracy just because I don't have as much control.
From everything that I'm looking at here, your hands are in front of you, which like it's kind of hard a hard angle to see like where your bat is, right? But like your
Yeah,
bat's out in front, and the thing that I like to see is like your head's behind it, right? Your eyes literally can see the ball hit the bat right there.
yeah,
And that's awesome. Like that's where you want it to be. I like the big thing is I love the angle of your upper body as well. How it's angled this way with your heads right here, because that tells me you're behind the ball. You're not in a position where like you're scared and your head's out of it this way, pulling off the ball, anything like that. Like those things are not going to help you out at all. So as far as like your upper body goes, your head placement, these are all things that I love to see. And then you have that space right here, which means your hands are in front of your torso. Your hands are in front of your body. Your body also isn't lunging forward or anything like that. So like this position isn't a terrible position. The only thing that I can see is if you're starting this early and we're constantly hitting the ball out front, which again isn't a terrible thing. That's how we backspin the ball. That's how we're able to elevate the ball, hit for more doubles, home runs, things like that. The
yeah,
only thing is off speed, right? Obviously, off speeds are part of the game.
yeah,
You know, if someone throws an off speed and then the pitch starts biting down, it's going to be pretty hard to adjust on that, right? So
yeah,
make sure that we are in a position where not only do we feel comfortable hitting the ball out here, out in front, but
yeah,
also, and this is probably like my prescription for you, right? When you're hitting, it's okay to get beat, right?
yeah,
I think that's something that took me a long time to figure out. I think it was in my first couple of years when I was with the Cardinals where that was said a lot between different hitting coaches. It's like the best hitters in the world get jammed. And the
yeah,
reason for that is because they feel so much more confident. Yes, you're hitting the ball right here, but the best hitters in the world, and even like Derek Jeter was actually really good at this. He would be able to hit the ball. I mean, I see that you're standing in front of the plate,
yeah,
but basically, if you're standing like kind of normal, you should be able to hit the ball when the ball is crossing the plate. That's how deep you should feel comfortable hitting it.
yeah,
And typically, if you have a really tight, compact swing, everything's well connected, you have good body position like you are right here, you'll easily shoot that ball the other way. And that's the goal, on a line. You don't want to be flaring it. You don't want to hit a little dribbler to the first or second baseman, but you should be able to hit a line drive while hitting the ball deeper. So when you're hitting like any type of tee work, I would just really focus on if you had to draw a line directly down from your contact point,
yeah.
put a ball basically where you want to make contact, and then kind
All
of
right.
visualize like that ball. And I would do it probably if you're standing right here. I would put it, obviously this one, you would put a ball right here. That's where you just hit that ball. But I
Yeah.
would put the ball and challenge yourself, kind of put it in the middle of your stance, in
All
the
right.
middle of your body, and see
Yeah.
how deep you can hit that ball and feel, again, a little bit uncomfortable, but at the same time having a very efficient swing and staying connected. Does that kind of make sense? Because I think what you're telling me from the sounds of it is you're kind of catching yourself out front a little bit too much where your hands are going,
Yeah.
and maybe they're just firing a little bit too quick. So getting that comfort of, being a little bit more compact and hitting it a little bit deeper, I think could help you out a ton.
Yeah. And I don't know if this means too much, but I've been working a lot on pulling the ball like up to the left side because it seems like a lot before to right field would be pop-ups. And then as I got more towards the middle, they'd come down, and then right up the middles were liners. And then the left side would be grounders. So it was like a diagonal line from grounders to the left side, working up to pop flies to the right side.
Yeah, and that's, to be honest with you, a very common miss pattern for a lot of hitters. Pulling the ball with backspin to the pull side, it's probably one of the hardest things to do, right? There's a lot of things in your swing that has to go right. And what I see with a lot of high school students, like they will try their best to pull the ball, and they think pulling the ball is enough. When in reality, when they pull the ball, they're hitting a lot of side spinners. I like to refer to them as like snap hooks, right? Because if you hit it literally to the left fielder, you have so much side spin, it almost curves so much like a slider, like maybe to the foul line, right? Maybe it goes foul, right? I'm sure that we've had one of those before where you kind of square it up, but then it just, keeps rotating and goes foul. That's not what we want when we pull the ball. So like just pulling the ball isn't enough, but pulling the ball with backspin, that's going to be where we really start to like make those strides. So whenever you are hitting in the cage, don't just have that focus of, pulling the ball with direction, but really understanding the ball flight coming off of the bat. Is it side spinning? If there wasn't a net, can you see this ball starting to carry and take off? Or do you see this ball having top spin and, barely getting over the shortstop? Have kind of those thoughts every single rep. And again, be intentional in those reps. Like I mentioned, obviously that machine that was, firing away rapid fire wasn't the best, but make sure that every single rep is, quality, dude. Because when you start thinking that way, where you see the backspin and that's what you're hunting for, that's where you try to replicate that more and more and more.
Is there like an adjustment, like when you were playing pro ball, that you'd have to like, I guess I know kind of what backspin looks like and what it does, but like what like makes you backspin a ball when you hit it or whatever?
It's about like that much, dude.
All right.
So it really is like it's tiny little difference. If I had to slow it down, and I only have a couple minutes here, but basically if I had to absolutely slow it down, you have this ball, which is my fist, you have the bat, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna be the bat, right? When that ball hits the bat, what I like to focus on when things started to unlock for me, this was really my freshman year of college, when we would have home run derby every single day. Instead of hitting the ball and really thinking like I'm gonna hit through the ball like in a straight line, I would take my normal swing, right? So my bat would come into the zone, and literally at contact, it's the tiniest little feel like we were talking about. You have to have like this feel, because if you try doing it and forcing it, it's not going to go well. But basically at contact or right slightly before, I would use my top hand a little bit more and almost try cutting downwards. And I'm not talking about like swinging like that, right?
Yeah.
Take your normal swing right at contact. Try thinking about extending that half inch a little more. So you're still hitting through that baseball, but you're just letting your bat kind of just go under and cut the ball. Instead of straight through, it's more like cutting right down a little bit. Again, creating that backspin. You've seen, golfers drive the ball a mile. It's because of backspin, right? That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So take more videos. Let me know how that goes, dude, because that feel is a little bit of an advanced one where it doesn't happen overnight. For me, it happened my freshman year of college, so I consider that being pretty late in my journey. But either way, I was able to find that, which was good, obviously. But have some fun in BP. Obviously, in the cage, I saw that you had the hit tracks there as well. So really just for, not only exit velocity, but also the launch angle. Because launch angle is going to tell you a good story on if you're backspinning it or not.
All right.
Cool, guys. Cool. I do have to run right now, but if either of you guys have any questions, just make sure to message me over in the Slack. And then be on the lookout on Sunday for those weekly check-ins. Those are going to be sent out basically every Sunday night. Just get those done, get those in. It's going to ask you like 3 or 4 questions, and then you'll be done.
Okay.
Cool, guys. All right. Peace out.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
And again, if you like this video and you want your son to be part of the next group call, go down below in the description to book a call with me to join the Mendoza Baseball Academy.